Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hello, family. How you doing today? It's another day. At the end of the day, I tell you, this is Victory TV, and this is Mystery at the end of the day. It's been quite some time since I've done the video, but I think that I might have something to say today. Oh, look at that. I've been away from my home. Today I left and went to Jackson, Alabama, and traveled all the way back here. Went to take care of some business down at Mike Theater. And usually the thoughts that I think that I'm going to bring today usually will probably be under the platform of morning thoughts. But I decided maybe I'll do it today. It's kind of warm out here, kind of thick, the air's thick, and I think that maybe I'll be able to talk about some things. Maybe the Creator will give me some things to talk about during this time. Well, at the end of the day, what do I want to talk to you about today? I think this will fall probably in the line of speaking in reference to relationships, family and relationships. And I'm going to try to figure out how do I bring this topic here so that it would be done in the spirit of helping our culture to understand what we are dealing with and the importance of our culture, our families, the foundation of families, the foundation of our society, and the problem. I was doing Sidewalk Talk a couple of days ago, and I was speaking with some gentlemen there that kind of got into some political discussion there. I kind of stood to the side of it and watched this kind of conversation go on, and I realized that the way I address problems as far as political and what have you, I like to go straight to the source of where I think the problem is. And I think most of the problems that we have now as far as the black culture and our households and our families and our culture, I guess, it has to do with the family. And if it has to do with the family, it has to start with relationships. And if it has to start with relationships, we might even go further and say, how does it deal with each individual? Each individual themselves. And this is the reason why I say this unk means so much to me. Because one of the first lessons that I taught, that I learned, was that you must learn to know thyself. You must learn about yourself. You must know yourself. I was speaking with my son earlier today, and I re-emphasized that in the conversation that I was having with him, because he's young. I think he's about 26 and what have you. He has him a young lady and young friend, and I'm sure that he's just elated, to be in this relationship and what have you. But it takes me back to when I was a youngster, when I was young. And I guess even though I had my father, I feel like he could have did a lot better if we had a better relationship. Even though I had my father, I had a good father. I'm not complaining about that, but I guess I'm complaining about we didn't get close enough for him to really impart into me what I needed as a young man at that age. Because at that age, that is the point that where we usually make a decision about who our mates will be for life, supposedly for life. And because I came up in the Christian Christian home, and involving the church or whatever, marriage then meant forever. To death do you part. And that's a part of the vow that we all take, I suppose. And certainly I took that seriously, and I want him to be able to take that seriously too. But the problem that I'm having right now, and the reason why I'm bringing this video to the front now, is because I think this is a major problem that is happening in our culture, and it's the foundation of our problems. Because number one, if you don't know yourself, you sure as heck should not be leading anyone else to anywhere or to do anything. It's first that you learn how to mentor yourself or guide yourself, or let your knowledge that you learn guide you. And it needs to be wisdom. It needs to be tested, tested information that's passed on to the next generation, so that we can know appropriately how to do this thing we're calling marriage. And where did it come from anyway? And who does it benefit? And what are the pros and cons of it? And what is the purpose of it? I'm not going to get into all of that probably in this talk, but I do want to focus on something that to me is very, very important, even for myself at this age, 65, 66. It's very important for me at this point because, I've already been married once for 35 years to one person, okay? And because in my family, all the men, I'm the only one that ever divorced, and there's 8 in my family, okay? But of the men, I'm the only one that is divorced. So with that, some people look at those things as I did, as a failure, but I had to also turn around and take my own advice and say, I must take this lemon and make lemonade, okay? Because I also had to realize that, well, wait a minute. I didn't divorce, so that's not about me. That's about the person who gave up. And so that is the person that failed, not me. Okay. So I had to do that psychological shift for my own purpose and for my own sanity and for my own integrity, to know that I'm not a quitter. Okay? And I teach my son, don't ever quit. Don't quit. You might tweak, but don't quit. Not you. Now, if somebody else quits, that's fine, because they can't hang into the game. And so with that mindset, I want to talk about getting to know yourself. When a man, especially, let's just look at an individual. Each individual really needs to know who they are. You need to know who you are in the scheme of the life hierarchy, or the life, what's the word could I use? The spectrums of life. The spectrums of life in the human, not animals, but human. But even though we can say animals sometimes too, because they kind of, to me, when I want to know what the truth is, I look at nature, because I know that nature is the handprints of God, okay? And so he sends us messages through just observing what is going on with his creation. And it has many schools of thought that you can pull into your life to help your life be a little bit better understood in your future and your purpose and all of that. You can understand that a lot better once you're able to identify the commonality between you and nature. So with this don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.